This is Callan Diggs, author of the Reaching the Finish Line series. And today, I will address another question. Hi. In the last 10 years, I have seen more workers are publicly challenging their employers on a range of political issues. I have political views that I am passionate about myself. But is it best to speak up or shut up? That's actually a great question. If to offer some contrast, millennials tend to be the most vocal, then followed by Generation X and then baby boomers, making millennials the most vocal about speaking up about these political issues to their employers. Ask yourself, is it worth the risk? So 3 things can happen, okay? Maybe you'll have a benevolent employer who won't retaliate at all. They will respect your right to your freedom of expression, and you'll still have your job. And then you may have an employer who might use active retaliation. Let's say you are an employee who more or less you're not the best employee, but you're not the worst employee. Let's say more or less you're average. There were some things that your employer wanted you to prove. You didn't really make any progress on that. You get these quarterly or let's say or these yearly reviews, and you're not making a whole lot of improvement. Okay, well, an employer can actually use that against you. An employer can use that to fire you. Okay, to fire you, to reduce your hours, and probably any other amount of ways based on using that fact that you haven't been improving. We talked about this before, and since you still haven't improved, then I think this is best for our company. They could use that against you. And then you have the last one, which is passive retaliation. And that is, it's not in your face, and it may be a bit more subtle to discern, but it can manifest in a way as, let's say, you want to spend more time with the company, you want to grow with the company. Well, maybe you will never get a raise ever again based on those actions that you've done. Perhaps if you wanted to advance with the company, if you wanted to get promoted, perhaps something like this will stop you from getting promoted. Maybe if you want to switch to a different department that you always found more interest in, maybe your boss won't allow you to do that. Maybe your boss will kind of create an environment to make it more miserable and grueling for you. The main question, as I stated before, is you have to ask yourself, is it worth the risk? Is the freedom of expressing your views publicly about your employer more important than building, obtaining, and improving the skills you need to fulfill your ideal career? That's the ultimate question. If you're still having trouble deciding, well, consider this, okay? Whatever city that you are in, consider the city's unemployment rate. Consider the city's underemployment rate, okay? Consider the supply and demand of that local job market. So if there's 3 jobs for every 1 person, and there's such an excess of jobs, then that puts you in a position of power, of course. However, if it's the opposite, and let's say that city has a high unemployment rate, well, that puts the employer in a position of power. So that's something to consider. It's no right or wrong. It's about what is what is more of a priority. Is it about the freedom of expressing, of publicly challenging your employer on a political issue, or is the priority more about obtaining your skills and improving those skills to be able to transfer those skills and ultimately fulfill your ideal career?